Hello and welcome to my Christmas home decor for 2022. I am a little late getting this out, but the reminder things I had to keep waiting for and time wasn't on my side in getting things done, and I still don't have everything done. So I will have to show the spare room in another video, and I didn't get a chance to do the outside because I'm still dealing with the roof situation. So yeah. Well, anyway, let's get into it. Right, as you come in, we're coming in the back, and there is a wreath on the door here that I made. Gosh, I think it's been a couple years now. I had like some gals over, and we did a wreath making party at the house. I just bought a bunch of picks and some grapevine wreaths, and we just went to town throwing things together and having a little bit of wine, and they had a really good time. So that's an activity idea if you're looking for like a girlfriend's get together. They really had a good time making the wreaths, and everyone still hangs their wreath on their doors. Mine, of course, there's on the back door, but I already had a good front door one. I think that piece of cotton broke. The stem broke a little bit. But yeah, it was a nice activity. So going up in then, just want to get the door shut. All right, as we come up in, you can see Coco there. It's so funny, one's on one side of the heater and one's on the other side because there's a heater duct in that wall. See how he's on this side, she's on that side. They're both just trying to get the heat from the furnace. Anyway, as you come up in, this skinny little wall here at the top of the steps, I hung this really cute little picture of Santa working on a truck I picked up at Hobby Lobby, I think 2 years ago now. And then I've got some pictures from when I was younger with Santa, and this one's my dad and my grandma. All right, into the kitchen then. All right, into the kitchen then. Coming into the kitchen, it's a view as you come up in, kind of small. Small kitchen, but functioning. So, on the island section here, I fixed up an arrangement in my look-alike MacKenzie child that I picked up this year at Boscov's. I put in some greenery picks, a feather. These are the feathers I got in the fall from Amazon. I'll link them down below again. I've just used them again throughout. You'll see them. Some berry and little ice picks, and I used olive branch picks in there. And then this picture thing up above here was from Hobby Lobby quite a few years ago. I still have an open spot because throughout the years the dog's picture sizes changed, so it didn't fit in there. So I'm going to use one of this year's in there. But this was my old dog Eddie, and then that was the dog I had, a Julio, and yeah, we'll put the pups in there this year too. Up above is where I used the greenery bush that I picked up this year at Hobby Lobby. I just thought that those little berries on there, the green, you can see the green ones in there, were part of this, and I thought they looked like olives before they ripen, so I just stuck extra olive branches in with it, and it looked good up there, adding a little touch. Ignore, that's my pantry and the food, sorry about that. This is one of my favorite things though I did this year. Might remember I got this squirrel who's attached to some of that greenery from Petitti's this year, and I just worked him into the garland above here and used plaid ribbon, MacKenzie ribbon, and leopard ribbon. And then I've got these little clothespins. When I start getting Christmas greeting cards, I'll hang them up there. And then at night, this lights up on a timer with these little fairy lights strung through there. And I just wrap some garland around this barn hook that's always here. Of course, I changed my Mrs. Myers And I picked up the Micheal Design Works tartan when I was up at Root Candles. So I picked that up at their open house there. I just stuck a little festive piece of scrap ribbon on there just to add a little bit. And I've got a nativity above the sink. These bowls I've got in here, I finally switched out their bowls. I bought the Pep's new little dog bowls. Ignore the mess here to this side. I keep this box to take my recycling in and out, and then I've got a bag back there with canned goods I gotta take to donate to an event I'm going to. And then I hung their stockings, and again another empty frame that was also from Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna put their picture in there this year, and they've got a little truck plaque down there that's carrying dog treats for them. I changed out my Christmas towels. The one in the back is a Ralph Lauren. It came as a 2-pack, and I picked it up at TJ Maxx. And the one in the front, I believe, was just a dollar store last year. I'm not sure. I took my fruit bowl and brought back the toolbox looking one. I thought it went with the Santa working on the truck thing. I took little mule cups in here and filled with candy canes and my chocolate cocoa stirs. And I've got the dog's advent calendar there. I'm a day behind starting that, so they'll be happy to get 2 treats today instead of 1. Over to the side here, of course, I got my Christmas mug out. Here, I changed the chicken picture to a picture of the truck in the snow, Holly Jolly sign. I added some Harlequin ribbon there to fill in the gap, and this lights up as well. And of course, I just knocked down. Doing that made my pick fall. I just like to go around different places and stick little pieces of pine above pictures too. You'll see that throughout. And then over here, I've got my Reed candle lit as well, Christmas by the Sea, but it just kind of smells piney and fresh. So I've got that. Around here on the side of the refrigerator then, where I usually do an arrangement, I've got my countdown to Christmas going, and this arrangement that I made several years ago, and my room sprays. I've got a little wine cork reindeer down here as well. This is MacKenzie Child. This was a 3-piece thing hooked together. It was out last year. And then I've got a bow and my MacKenzie bee. Stuck some feathers in here, greenery, and the just some gold foliage and glitzy berries. And then we come into the dining room. All right, in the dining room, I picked up this plaid runner at Meador Hill visit, which I'm not sure if you've seen the footage of there or not yet, because things are a little out of order, but I'll link it down below just in case. This I just thought was too long for the table, so I flopped it over a little bit, but I think it looks all right billowed like that. And I got that at an estate sale a couple years ago, I think, and the 2 stockings back there on the ends match it. In the middle here, I brought my Lazy Susan back out. I just wanted something easy to move if I do like activities or something. So this is just like a champagne ice bowl or punch bowl that had these gorgeous detail of the deer head on the end. And then inside I have some antlers and antique bulbs. And this is actually a wreath that I had that's greenery. And again, I stuck some of those feathers in there. All right, I think I'm going to start on this side. Go around this way. Up in here, I always have this chicken in his little French sail coop. And I gave him a little plaid present that I found this year at Michael's. Tuck some greenery up top and a leopard bow and just some raffia hanging down. This little cute sign here with the plaid around the edge and the dog I got on sale last year at Michael's. I think it was Michael's at the end of the year. Yeah, it was Michael's. I got that after Christmas last year. The mantle, I hung the stockings and have these trees on either side that are, they were from Big Lots. I think they might still have them. They're like put in these urn pots and they do light up. On there, I've got some Santa ornaments like Christopher Radko Santas and different Santas. This was Bath and Body, I think. Just different Santas that mean stuff. And there's an Italian bulb on each tree. Above that then, on the mantle, I have more of my Santa pictures and Santa pictures of my dad. And this one, Santa is actually my godfather. And this one, Santa was my dad. I caught him sneaking out when I was little. Different Santa pictures. I put the greenery and some feathers again with antlers. I've got this deer candle thing. I need to pick up some little votive candles when I go back out. I thought I had enough, but I only had 2 and I need 3. Up above, I put a little garland and some plaid ribbon to carry that throughout with a little bit of leopard in there. And then this Buona Natale is on this gorgeous velvet. I got that this year off of Etsy. It just came. So I will link that down below. It's just gorgeous. The velvet, so soft and it's like a deep green. And on this side is the tree coming down and my Italian bulb there. Over to the side, of course, down here, my little goat had to get some plaid added to him, peeping out there. But I like to leave the nativity to itself. I know compared to other things, this probably seems a little plain, but I think that the nativity should be a focal point and its own thing. So I didn't want to add a lot to it. This nativity was my parents. They painted it when they first got married. It was like one of those kits, and ever since I moved on my own, I've had it. So I put it up every year. I would love one day to get one of those Fontina villages, but have not done so yet. But I still would use this, I think. Of course, one black sheep. And I just threw a garland above my picture here. And then at the end of last year, I picked up a new Advent ring candle holder at Hobby Lobby on clearance. So I've got the Advent there. So I just left the religious stuff on its own, by itself. In the living room then, around the corner from there is the shoe cupboard. Had to decorate on top of there, of course. Let me put the light on. Step back a little bit so you can see. All right, I keep my hunter boots there next to that pretty much all the time. I just threw down some greenery picks, put some of those feathers again in there, antler. These plaid deer were from Joann's a couple years back. This bouquet, I thought I was going to use in the bedroom when I picked it up. I picked that up at Michael's this year. And, of course, tucked some feather in there as well. Up above, I just added a garland. And these 2 trees were years back, I believe, Pier 1. I believe. So that is there. To the other side of the door is the big crate. And I had to move my ladder blanket over here. I did order the dogs a new bed because that bee bed just had to go, much to Coco's dismay. We had to get rid of that, so I let her keep the pillow inside for now until the plaid bed gets here. And their toys got moved to this side. Talk about some spoiled pups, huh? What a toy box. Inside here, I tucked a pencil tree in there. And it's got this gondola guy that I picked up at Petitti's last year. I think they had them again this year. Some ice picks, ribbon, leopard, and plaid, clock that's Rome, cheers, and just some other antique bulbs. And this star was made for me by a friend one year, so I kept that. Excuse me. Up above, this is that metal plaque that I picked up on Small Business Saturday up in Cortland, and I put it there and just added some greenery to it. I think it shows up there, even though it kind of still doesn't show up, it shows up there much better than it would have in the bedroom on like a gold color wall already. This arrangement up here, I've had this, that is a box that you can gift like 2 bottles of wine in. I've had that box, gosh, I think I made this arrangement about 10 years ago already now. And it has branches in the back. Those ones sticking up with the twigs actually will light. And then I've got red roses in there and feathers and some glitziness and pine cones and twigs, and it's just stayed together forever. This glass down here is also one you might recognize I picked up at Root if you had watched that. And I made a small arrangement in there with some picks. I don't know why I have such a tickle in my throat today. Some picks and antler and feathers. And these are my Italian books there. I'm just using as a riser. I keep my Kindle thing in there. So it's out of the way, if you were wondering what that was. And then I've got this leopard Santa. I've had him for several years already too. I am not sure where he came from, but he is just gorgeous and I love him. And I tucked a reed diffuser back in there and the greenery. So let me back up for that. Of course, I changed out the blankets on the blanket ladders so that they kind of coordinate to the decor as well. Let me back up for you. That is how that corner looks. Over here, you know how I love to get those Sheen pillow covers and just change them. It's so much easier to store. Coco moved because the furnace shut off now. So these were from Sheen Home, these plaid covers. The leopard ones I've had, they were clearance last year after Halloween at Michael's. And then I've got a plaid throw on the back with over the green throw. And on the end tables, I just left them the way they normally are, but added a Santa picture on each side. This one's my dad, and the other side is me. I changed the picture up on top. That came from Hobby Lobby 2 years ago. I don't think they had it this year. They had something similar, but it was more of a moose than a reindeer this year. So I don't think they had that this year. And on this side, just another picture. And my tree in the corner where they normally had their toys and the ladder blanket was. You might be asking why there were no Santa pictures with my mom, since I had quite a few with my dad when he was younger, but my mom was afraid of Santa. She didn't go. She would throw a fit, she said. My angel on top, if you could see the detail of the leopard on her dress, she came from Michael's, maybe 10 years ago. Maybe not that long. Close to, though. But she's gorgeous porcelain. Her wings are porcelain. And most of these ornaments on here are a leopard. This is my leopard tree. This owl is kind of like a leopard design, but I keep it on top up there, even though it's an owl. My grandma, who's no longer here with us, loved owls, and it's like she's watching down. I added in this Merry Christmas last year. It's from Hobby Lobby. They did have them again this year. You can see all the leopard bulbs. I've been collecting these since a long time. If anyone remembers Kaufman's, which I don't think exists anymore, they had a leopard tree the one year. I do have some bulbs from Dillard's, though, that were B in there as well. They had a leopard tree the one year, and it was just so gorgeous to me. And I picked up every single piece they had of it and have been adding to it ever since. And this one's got like the beads over it. This one is beaded. Some, unfortunately, did get broken over the years. Like there used to be a bigger one of this and it got broke last year. Actually, there is a bigger one there. But there was one that was a panther and he got broke last year. I was so sad. But ornaments break. I just absolutely love my leopard tree. Let me know down in the comments if you stick with themes or you try and just carry throughout or just do traditional. I've had a leopard theme tree ever since that was at Kaufman's. I just love it every year. Every year it changes a little bit. Like it didn't have plaid in it. And then I tried to add to make it more Ralph Lauren-y. One year it had just red ribbon with the leopard. Just change it up a little bit. Right, over here then by the TV, I didn't do too much. I took the MacKenzie Child vase that's normally, it moves around, and just added some picks and feathers in there. I picked up this nativity inside there one time on a trip down to Berlin. There's like a Christmas store down in Berlin, Ohio. And I already had this lantern and I just fit perfect in there. I tied a little bit of leopard onto that. And I think that just looks lovely there. And of course, on the lion going up the steps, I did put a little hat on him with some leopard trim. And other places, I just did a little bit of putting the greenery up above the pictures, and I think that made enough of a difference. I didn't want to go too over the top with a lot of people coming this year. One other change, though, was here on the ottoman. I usually have my dough bowl, but I brought that gold bowl that I was using in the kitchen with the antlers into here for the remote. This is just there because it just came today. And there's Coco posing for her Christmas shots. All right, going up the stairway here, ignore my mess. I still need to move that and get that cleaned up. But let's look from this angle then. I did the garland a little different this year. I did buy that new garland and I like how it came out, I think. I'm not too sure that I got all those loops exactly even, but I like how it came out. I've been wanting to paint the handrail black and still didn't get to it this year. I don't want to do it now because it'll smell. Like, I don't want the fumes. I was going to use black enamel. But I took the new garland that I had bought and been using throughout. This ribbon was on there before. And since it's so wide, I just used it to cover that the railing is not painted. And I hung it down, dovetailed it, added in some plaid to hold the ornaments in and connect it over. And this is the MacKenzie that I alternated to the Petitti. This is one that I had already. I don't think it's any brand. Being we're in the middle, I put a bow for that one. Then I went back to the MacKenzie and the one from Petitti's. So I like how it came out this year. All right, continuing around up here. I didn't do anything else over here in the hallway, but I did on this main console here. I brought these little topiaries out of storage. They were from an estate sale a couple years ago. The Harlequin guys are always here, but I added a pine-smelling reed dispenser. I put the wreath here over the mirror with a nice little bow, a fleur-de-lis in the middle, and I connected it on with plaid, and the bow is leopard. So I liked how that came out. I did change the candles as well that were up there. to these red ones with the jewel. I think it just tied in better. All right, behind me, that is across from the bathroom. So here behind me, I picked up this picture at Gabe's this year, and I just thought it was adorable to put in here. I changed out my soap dispenser to something that was more Christmassy. I picked up these towels last year, I think Burlington. And then, of course, the Bath & Body Christmas scent stuff. And I was going to put MacKenzie child towels in here, but I found these in the cupboard, and I thought they were just perfect. So I went ahead and used those. I'll fix that back when I have two hands. On top of the back of the toilet, I've got the rhinestone glitzy reindeer. I picked up on a clearance after a few years back. I think it was Walmart, probably. And I added a garland on this wall. I'm not sure I've actually ever shown you this wall. I may have. I know I did on the blog, but I'm not sure if I did in video before. But I added this garland in that's purple roses with pine cones and sugar plums. And I added some plaid ribbon in with that as well. I just love how that turned out and added something there. All right, I'm going to leap around here behind me on the cupboard to the side of the shower here. I picked up that pearl tree this year at Michael's. The brush bottle tree was from Hobby Lobby last year. I put a leopard hand towel as you're going out the door. And I got my Rex & Co candle that was from Cherokee Child, sorry. It's a small business that's local. Well, it says Chicago, but I picked this up. Well, actually, I won it at Cherokee and Child, which is a little clothing boutique in Columbiana when they had their grand opening. And below this is the grand lady here. I changed her up a little bit. She came from Big Lots a few years ago, and she didn't have a bow on her neck. She had a bow around her waist, but it wasn't the best looking ribbon. Usually I add my necklace of pearls on there, but I decided this year I changed her bow to the same plaid I've been using throughout, and I decided to add my Gucci brooch and just make her so Italian looking, so glam. I love it. All right, so let's go back out now. We are not going to go in the spare room right now because it's not done. It's a mess. The gifts that I have to wrap, I've been throwing on the bed in there. And also I had to order a new tree and it didn't come yet. So in a later Vlogmas video, once I get that done, I will take you in there, but we're not going to today. I don't know if I've ever shown you this. It's not Christmas decorated, but it's like my religious things I collect. This is the Madonna I just won at the Advent brunch, which you won't have seen yet by the time you see this. But all right, so since we're not going in there, let's go in the bedroom, the main bedroom that I sleep in. So, lights on. Give you an overview look, and then we'll go into detail. It's not the hugest bedroom, but cozy, and I like it. All right, so starting here on the nightstand on this side, the gold trees and the black velvet tree were both from Hobby Lobby this year. Beneath that is my Sleeping Joseph that I have all the time here. Those of you who don't know, if you're not Catholic or whatever, you write a prayer request on these papers, and then you're supposed to put it under Sleeping Joseph and not worry about it anymore. Just give it to God. So I keep that there. And then I've got a wood wick candle in cinnamon. on the side here. I changed my bedding over to the velvet bedding for the winter. And I've got plaid sheets under there. You can see the pillowcase tucking through. That's what the sheets are. They're plaid. Up above, I did put a little bit of a garland in the middle with a red ribbon that had some gold into it. And I've got my furry leopard throw here at the bottom. A bench so the dogs can get on. On this side of the bed here, I kept it simple because it needs to be functional. It's the side I sleep on, so I've got my lavender hand lotion and pillow spray, the remote, of course, my jewelry collector, and just a little cute Christmas sign. I changed this a little bit and changed out the candle and just added a little green pick. On the curtains here, I did go ahead and tie some of that ribbon on all 4 of the panels to pull them back. I think that just added a little touch to it. My TV armoire is also in the Oriental print, and I just added a greenery pick there. To the side, this is where I was going to hang that metal thing, but I just don't think it would have shown up here at all. So this is what I had been using in the living room. So I just put that up here. I thought the colors went well. Then my Oriental tree. Let's first look over here. I put my Forever Roses here. This red thing is usually on the shelf. It came out of clearance Hobby Lobby a few years ago after Christmas. This lady was from Target a few years ago after Christmas. I think, I'm not Hindu, so I don't know. If I say it wrong, I'm sorry, but I think she's supposed to be Vishnu. I'm not sure. I just liked how she looked. Maybe it's not even. Maybe it's just Oriental and not even a Hindu thing. I don't know. So I hope I didn't offend anyone, like saying the wrong name there. I've got a reed diffuser here on my jewelry box, some greenery picks. This Merry Christmas was from Hobby Lobby this year as well. And that's just my big jewelry box. I did not do anything with the vanity because it needs to be functional. So I didn't do anything with the area over here. All right, so this tree. This is my Oriental tree. It's a themed one again as well, in a way. I think this got moved. Underneath, more dog toys. See, spoiled little pups. Spoiled, spoiled. Anyway, I used a pencil tree here. I do light this up at night when I'm laying here reading or watching TV. I just love it. And aside from the bulbs that are just gold and that, all of these Oriental ornaments came from Hobby Lobby. Several years ago, if you remember, they used to, I don't think they do anymore, but they used to get ornaments for Chinese New Year's. And that is where I picked them all up. There's some just gorgeous. And again, over the years, though, some of them have gotten broke as well. I think the detailing on them is just amazing on some of these. They're so unique. I've got quite a few in there. The topper picks, I think were Hobby Lobby. Maybe the snowflakes and the feathers and that. Some pearl-like things. They weren't this year. They weren't last year. I've had them a while. And the little lady on top is actually broke. I picked her up at a thrift store, and she's supposed to be holding something, but I don't think you can really tell. And she had an open bottom, so she made the perfect tree topper here, I think. All right, so around the corner here then into the last room. that we're going to go into. This is my workspace, and got a little pile of mess over here, but it's a workspace, functioning workspace, so need to have somewhat of a mess. But I took a champagne bucket here and just added some branches from an old tree and put the feathers into that. I've moved my Coco and Dante logo over here. I don't know why it's showing like it's a mirror. It's not a mirror. I don't know. My Christmas cards ready to get wrote out over there. The top hanging out of my window, you can see that there's kind of a hunt theme, I guess, going on in here. And my mom had this wreath from forever ago, and she never did anything with it. Actually, it was 2 wreaths. The guy was on one and the girl was on the other. And I asked her if she was ever going to use it, if I could use it this year. I decided it'd be cute hanging on the window here. So I combined them down to 1 wreath and put the lady and guy on the same one. And I changed out the bow to the plaid I've been using throughout. She said she wasn't going to use it this year, so that was fine. And of course, in here, I had to put a tree as well. I stayed with the dog theme. You can see the bone topper, which was a pick from At Home last year. And the curly cues I added in this year. It's a pick from Michael's this year, which I didn't show you down in the dining room. I had that with roses in the dining room too, and I don't think I showed you up top there. These ornaments on here, though, are all dog ornaments. I have this cute little garland that was from a garden shop that closed several years ago here. A local garden shop had that garland that was the dog bones with like milk biscuits and just different dog ornaments, mostly Beagle, Chihuahua, or Cocker Spaniel, because that's the kind I've had. All right, around the corner here, I moved. I had the bar situation like on the desk, but I put that champagne bucket there. So I moved it to over here with my leopard glasses and a decanter with the beads thing over it. Little Boyd's dog, knick-knack, greenery, feathers. I think my grandma, who's gone, had bought me this dog Santa one year. And then I've got some more pictures of the dogs with Santa. I hung the dog stockings on here, even though they have theirs downstairs. I had these from dogs before, so I figured we'll put them out. This cute little garland along here as well, just swooped with some greenery and feathers. On the shelves, I just added, again, picks of greenery and feathers. And another dog pick. This was my parents' dog. His name was Paco, and he's no longer with us either. So that is it, except for the spare bedroom that I'm still waiting on the tree for, and need to get wrapping so I can get the gifts off the bed, because that's where I'm hiding everything. I mean, where else do you hide gifts that need wrapped to not have them just out in the open? All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I will get that outdoor decor done. Well, it's done, but I will get it filmed for you in a Vlogmas. And once the tree comes, I will show you the spare room once that's done too. So give it a thumbs up if you like it. Hit subscribe for notification. I'm trying to do Vlogmas, so hopefully there will be a video every day. But if you're subscribed, you'll know if I skip a day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.